thank you to everyone who came out tonight. Thank you all for your support. Many of you already know me, and those that do have already told me that the best part of the speech is when it's really, really short. So if you think you haven't got your money's worth, then please come find me after the speech, and I'll be happy to talk to you as long as you want. This is truly a unique group of people. All the members of the host committee, and most of you in the room are all here in your individual capacities, but in your other capacities, you're all leaders of this city's most progressive organizations. Most of you represent between hundreds of people or tens of thousands of people. And this did not happen by accident. Starting last decade, a lot of us worked together to create a coalition around the city of progressives. Together, we got the New York State Young Democrats off the ground. I think we have Matt Silverstein in the room. And where is Matt Silverstein? Perfect. So Matt, why don't you come a little bit closer? We worked together to get New York State Young Democrats off the ground, and Matt served with distinction as our president, and I continue to serve as legal director. Costa Constantinides and I, and a couple of the lawyers in this room, I think I saw Dan Paternak, we helped organize New York Democratic Lawyers Council, and also Mark Favors, who's here, and some others, from a couple of dozen lawyers in a room to over 5,000 lawyers that fielded 10% of the voter protection effort in 2008 that elected President Barack Obama. But we didn't stop there. We founded the New York Democratic Law Students Council with chapters at 15 law schools in New York. And it's continuing to grow, and we have Ted Anastasiou, who's the, again, here in his individual capacity, but he's also the president of the National Law Dems. And we're working closely with them to grow it to all 199 law schools in all 50 states. While serving as executive director of Bill Samuel's New Roosevelt, I've worked with dedicated activists, including many of you in this room, and you're way too numerous to name, to take on and defeat the corrupt incumbent Senator Pedro Espada and elect Gustavo Rivera. Brought the corrupt practice of gerrymandering to the forefront so that opinion editorial boards and the people are now calling on Governor Cuomo to veto the gerrymandered lines. We made transparency in government a key issue, forcing the city and state legislature to put their voting records online. And I'm actually very proud to announce that today, in the City Council, by unanimous vote, they passed Councilmember Gail Brewer's Open Data Bill. We're at a precipice, with the paradigm of Tammany Hall politics clashing against a new era of progressive politics with transparency and openness that only the internet could deliver. The progressive movement is starting to achieve critical mass. The critical mass we need to achieve the most progressive legislation this country has ever seen. We've already elected council members Melissa Mark Viverito and Brad Lander, who co-founded the Progressive Caucus with 12 members. Tonight, I announced that at least 2 members of what we've affectionately been calling the New York State Young Democrats Caucus, and we have Matt Silverstein here, who's running for City Council in Queens, so if we can give him a round of applause. Who could not be here with us tonight, but I for one hope that the 3 of us can join the Progressive Caucus, but I'm definitely going to join. I know that with the Young Democrats like Matt and Costa running, and progressives throughout the city, we will surpass the 26 votes we need to get the most progressive policies passed in the City Council. We know how to work together. We've been doing it for years. All of us understand how to get our hands dirty, how to raise awareness in the media, and force decision makers to do the right thing. Once we're on the inside, that isn't going to change. We're going to bring small d democracy into the council chamber with laws that actually serve the constituencies that they are meant to govern. Our laws are outdated, they're obsolete and broken. In addition to working with my colleagues to secure jobs, affordable housing, and the best education, the best public education that we can have, we on the Upper East Side are fighting a marine transfer station being placed in a residential neighborhood across the street from a housing project. An interminable 2nd Avenue subway construction that's putting small businesses like these at risk. And a new applied science campus on Roosevelt Island, which already doesn't have adequate transportation infrastructure. Albert Einstein suggests we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. We've got over 100 new ideas on KallosForCouncil.com that use a new way of thinking to solve old problems. These ideas are gaining traction with adoption by Mayor Bloomberg and advocacy by Jonathan Lippman, the Chief Judge of the Court of the State of New York. You should have and I can't do it alone. You should have received a Suggest Your Own Solution for a Better City worksheet. Please fill these out. When you do, hand them in as you leave, and they'll be posted on the Kallos for Council website along with your name. Other people in the community will be able to vote on them, and you'll be able to discuss them. I'm asking everyone here to do one more thing beyond the contribution that you gave at the door, and I thank you for that very much. Please fill out at least one of these cards. Then, go home, register on the site, vote on other people's solutions that they came up with, and participate in a dialogue that will get us some of the best solutions for a better city. Together we can create a better district and a better city for all of us to live in. Thank you and good night.